Think about it. Just a few years ago, whenever we had a question, we Googled it. We searched, scrolled, and compared. But now, we ask AI. We ask ChatGPT, we ask Copilot, we ask Gemini. And instead of hundreds of results, we get one clear, confident answer. That single change is rewriting how people discover businesses, experts, and of course, real estate professionals. Because we officially moved on from searching to answering, from SEO, search engine optimization, to AEO, answer engine optimization. This isn't just a new acronym for you to educate yourself about. This is a complete shift in how visibility, trust, and authority are built online. So the big question is, how do real estate professionals stay ahead in this new era where AI decides who gets in? That's exactly what we're diving in today with our special guest, Rudi Davis, the co-founder of KeyCrew Media, a result-driven marketing agency that helps brands boost their visibility through powerful content, SEO, and performance-based strategies. Rudi's worked with hundreds of businesses, guiding them from the traditional SEO towards the AI-powered visibility, helping brands get discovered not just on Google, but in AI answer engines too. He's worked closely with top real estate teams, helping them get followed and trusted in this new era of intelligent search. So today, we're breaking down 5 AI-driven strategies to get featured before your competitors and future-proof your real estate brand for this new age of AI search. All right, let's kick this off with our first strategy. Because before we can optimize for AI, we need to understand the whole discovery process has changed. We're no longer fighting for keywords, we're fighting for trust. So let's start with step 1, understanding the shift from search engines to answer engines.
So when it comes to the evolution of search and where we've sort of gone from SEO, or in other words, just getting your brand on your website to the top of Google for target search words, to sort of where we've got to now, and that's pretty much been since the launch of ChatGPT a couple of years back. A couple of stats just to kind of kick off, which I think is really useful context. So this is some data points from the last couple of months. So the first one is that 65% of Google searches now end without a click, which is pretty startling. And that's where the Google AI overviews are sort of often resolving the user query without the need for them to actually go onto a website. And then the other one here that is LLM traffic, so ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, etc., is predicted to overtake traditional Google search by the end of 2027, based on their current rate of growth and trend lines. Both of which, if you were to say that 5 years ago, would almost just be unthinkable in terms of there being other platforms and companies that could kind of take Google's position as the king of search engines. But we're not only is that happening, we're sort of midway through that shift at the moment, and all these signs are pointing to Google becoming a much smaller share of your traffic source and your discoverability when it comes to customers looking for your product or service. So when it comes to sort of what SEO is moving into, so there's like a few different terms, and the industry hasn't really landed on one sort of definition of what the landscape is looking like at the moment. So among the sort of acronym soup, we got AEO, GEO, AIO, LLMO. Each of those mean slightly different things, and I've just put a brief overview here. But suffice to say, in broad terms, all of them mean just you getting more visibility for your company when it comes to AI tools. So we've got AEO, which is answer engine optimization. So that's more sort of optimizing for direct answers in search results or with voice assistants. GEO, which is generative engine optimization. And people often use that term when they're talking more specifically about optimizing for tools like ChatGPT or Perplexity. We've got AIO, which is AI optimization, sort of a broad, all-encompassing term when it comes to how you optimize your website and your online presence for AI tools. And then we've got LLMO, which is large language model optimization. And that's thinking more about specifically how tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini work, and how you can optimize your online brand and image to better suit that. Broadly speaking, each of these terms can be used somewhat interchangeably. And as I say, it comes down to how you can optimize your brand and your online visibility for sort of AI search and the different ways, the different tools users are now using. So that's a little bit about kind of where the industry is moving to and some of the ways that we're sort of describing that change.
So if AI is deciding who gets seen, how do we make sure we're part of the conversation? That brings us to step number 2, decode AI content and speak its language. The way people are asking questions is changing, so should your keyword research.
So, in order to write the type of content that's then going to get ingested and returned by LLMs or by AI overviews, you got to first kind of get a good sense for, well, what is it that my target market or my audience are putting into Google or putting into the LLMs, the types of queries that they're asking. To do this, there's a few kind of steps. It's often not as difficult as some people imagine. So it begins with just sort of what in the SEO industry we would describe as traditional keyword research. So before AI tools were invented, there's a lot of good platforms out there that will just give you keyword volumes and keyword suggestions for different topics. So a tool like SEMrush or Ahrefs or Moz are good starting points where you just want to start by sort of your location and your service. So realtor, Madison, real estate brokerage, Madison in that example, will then start showing you sort of the search volumes and the different types of searches people are making for those terms. And then once you've got a good amount of those in your market, sort of step 2 is what's known as kind of fanning out those keywords. And the good thing is you can do that in ChatGPT or another LLM of your choice. So an example I put here is help me fan out buying a house in Madison for real estate content, generate questions, first-time buyers, move-up buyers and investors, grouped by buyer journey stage and include Madison-specific market considerations, neighborhood, schools, and local factors. And then the types of suggestions that it's then going to generate is things like how much house can I afford in Madison? What credit score do I need for Madison home loans? Is Madison a buyer's or seller's market right now? So sort of pre-purchase. You've got the stuff during purchase. How long does escrow take in Madison? Post-purchase. What are typical closing costs in Madison? Local variations, best Madison neighborhoods for families with young children, school districts ranked, current home prices. So you start getting a lot of more sort of contextual, what we class as sort of natural language queries that people search for when it comes to LLMs. Whereas in the past, you would write very short sort of keyword specific terms in Google.
Once you know what your audience is actually asking AI, it's time to figure it out how to give the right answers. That brings us to step 3. Building content AI wants to reference. It's not just about having content. It's about structuring in a way AI understands, ranks, and cites.
So once you've done some keyword research and you have a bit of an understanding of the sorts of queries that your target audience is making, you've then got to, firstly, optimize the content that you've got on the website, and then most likely you'll then need to sort of create new content for some of those gaps where you don't currently have content that's sort of answering those queries. So just a pretty high level example I've put here. So you've got your homepage, and imagine this is a real estate brokerage. Perhaps they also provide property management as another service. Perhaps they do escrow as a further service. So you'd want to set up services pages for each of those distinct services that you provide to your customers. You'd then want to set up geography pages. And if you're a perhaps city-wide realtor, you'd want to dice this by neighborhood or district or suburb level, as that's sort of the level at which a user is going to be searching. You've then got a resource section, or it might just be the blog part of your website. If you don't have one, this is a really good opportunity to set one up. And within there, you'd want to set up neighborhood guides at the district or suburb level, market updates and trends. This would be content you would sort of semi-regularly update and refresh and publish new content on. And then things like home buying and selling tips. and also FAQs, so sort of real estate process questions, making it specific to the region, geography that you're in. Fee and commission structure FAQs, again, making it specific to the locality that you're in. And the more of this content you're creating, the more chance you've got of it getting ingested and then cited by the AI platforms.
This kind of clarity doesn't just help Google rank you. It helps AI engines decide whether your content is trustworthy or not. Visibility in AI depends on authority, and authority comes from who's talking about you.
So you've researched the market, you know what people are searching for, you've updated, created new content that better answers those queries. That is all well and good, but the one of the most important steps in the process is building media coverage and citations across the web. What you're doing here is that you need to prove your authoritativeness and expertise with Google and the LLMs. And you do this by focusing on sort of two key buckets. So one is online reviews, and if you like, the slightly easier bit, putting in place some workflows where you're getting as many of your customers to give you positive reviews as possible on Google My Business, on Yelp, on Realtor.com, whatever sort of relevant online platforms where your business is featured. And then the other part of this is getting as much media coverage and thought leadership published as possible. And most people generally consider this to be the harder bits. Actually getting yourself featured in local media or trade media or on podcasts can take a little bit of work. But what we're finding across the industry, across our clients, across folks that we're working with, that it really is a matter of getting a number of citations and mentions in high authority publications that can really move the needle and proves that you're an authority and you have expertise on this topic and the industry that you're in. A few ways that you can go about and start thinking about how to do that. So when it comes to local media, one of the first places to look is outlets that may accept sort of just non-promotional monthly columns where you're providing sort of a market update each month or maybe every couple of months. So there may be some sort of very local neighborhood level publications that would just be interested in that because you're providing them with this free quality content. There may be bigger platforms like Patch where you can apply to be a guest contributor as long as you submit a certain number of articles per month or per year. But search out different local platforms where they are accepting of that, and then you can then set yourself up as a thought leader. And the more of this content that you're publishing on those platforms, the more proof and signals that you're sending to the LLMs that you're an expert on the local market. The next one is podcast guest appearances on relevant podcasts. This is becoming a really good technique, particularly because pretty much most podcasts now are also setting themselves up as a channel on YouTube, and then YouTube is transcribing all of those podcast conversations. And we know that ChatGPT, Claude, etc., are all scraping Google all scraping YouTube and the transcripts on YouTube. So getting this rich contextual information where you're sharing knowledge on YouTube, a very good chance of getting ingested by the LLMs, and that's another way to prove your expertise. We've then got industry media. So there's going to be certain perhaps times of the year that you could get featured in those outlets. So it may be when you have like a big announcement to share, maybe you've hit a certain milestone, you've won a certain award, there's been some sort of merger acquisition activity with your brokerage or company. It may be another technique you can use there is that you can apply and submit to see if you could become a regular contributor, or you could write regular op-eds for those publications. So you could then again build your expertise over time by publishing a lot of content in your own words on these platforms. We've then got responding to journalist requests via platforms like Quoted. Real estate is probably one of the biggest niches on these platforms. You've regularly got both trade journalists and more sort of lifestyle journalists that are just looking for quick takes and specific advice that they can get from experts in the industry, which they then feature in their articles, will pretty much always cite the expert that they've spoken to. And then the last one, often to sort of just look within your own network and some of the associations that you hold. So, depending on what profession that you're in, it's a good chance you're going to be part of perhaps your local association for your profession, the state level association for your profession. Speak to the people you know at those associations and see if they will accept guest articles that you could write, that you could feature on their site, or sort of any other sort of contributions that they might be looking for, which they can then feature on your site. And the more of those that you build, the more your expertise is going to be proven to the LLMs and to Google.
Every citation, article, or even podcast appearance strengthens your digital reputation, which makes AI more likely to actually trust your expertise. Finally, if you can't measure it, you can improve it.
When it comes to actually measuring the success and if you're putting this effort and this investment into this, how can you tell if that's actually moving the needle for you? So there's a few different ways you can do this, and this is certainly like an evolving area. There's quite a lot of tools coming onto the market that can measure different things. But because this is still such a new growing industry, there's probably not one sort of perfect tool that does it all. But here I've put as an example, so this is a tool called SEMrush, which will give you a sort of a visibility overview of the sort of topics that you're being mentioned in ChatGPT, AI overviews, and Gemini. So in this example, I just used Housing Wire, which is a pretty big trade publication in the space. It's ranking them as medium visibility versus the competitors in their industry. It's showing they've got nearly 600 different types of mentions that they're getting surfaced in these platforms. Nearly 5,000 of their pages are being linked to from the LLMs. And then you can also break it down by the types of topics that your website is being mentioned and cited from in ChatGPT and the other platforms. This is just a screenshot, but if you're on the actual platform, you can click down on each of these topics. It'll give you the specific sort of query strings that users are making, which is a really good tool just to understand, what is working or what isn't working so much, and the different type of content you could focus on based on what is working. And here's a screenshot. So if you've got a website, you've no doubt got Google Analytics set up. So if you go to the traffic acquisition report, so within referral, you could then create a sort of a separate report where you're putting the sources coming in for the referral traffic, and that will show you the domains that they're coming from. So you can then start seeing if it's OpenAI for ChatGPT, if it's Anthropic for Claude. You can start to get a good overview month by month, just the traffic that you're getting from the LLMs, if that's trending upwards or down, and comparing that to the previous slide here with a tool that shows you the actual mentions you've got in those platforms. You can start to sort of understand what's driving traffic into your website and other type of content that you should focus on.
When you combine strategy with tracking, you don't just keep up, you get ahead. And that's what being AI optimized really means. Buyers and sellers, they're not searching anymore, they're asking. And if AI is answering, you need to make sure that your name is in that answer. However, we've barely scratched the surface of what Rudi's been working on. There's so much more to unpack about how AI is reshaping visibility, lead generation, and trust online in the real estate industry. So here's the thing. We're bringing Rudi back to our next episode of the Icons of Real Estate podcast. And we want your questions in that conversation. Drop your questions in the comments below. We'll make sure to mention them on the episode and give you a direct answer, almost like AI. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications, because you don't want to miss this one, all right? It's going to be real spicy.